Welcome to another edition of the Go Noles podcast. I am your host, Gregory McCoy. This podcast is by a fan for fans. I am not a journalist. I am not a reporter. I am not an insider. I do not work for a website. The majority of my content comes from me, in my opinion. Other information comes from the internet. I didn't do anything for the Northern Alabama game because, it went pretty much as I expected it to, except for the injury to Jordan Travis. I had another show recorded, but I decided to redo it just because it didn't really align with what happened in the game with Jordan Travis getting hurt. I was very emotional to see that young man get hurt, man. He's been the epitome of everything that's right with, as far as Florida State goes. He's helped and really been the main cog in bringing Florida State back to relevance. I just wanted the Louisville game to be his full circle moment. He started in Louisville. He could have potentially beat Louisville and, ended his career like that. It sucks. I could sit here and criticize, a lot of stuff, but I don't think that's going to really solve anything. I think the fan base, we need to rally around, Tate Rodemaker. That's really what we can do. Jordan Travis's injury to me is bigger than football. I want him to be healthy first and foremost, just so he can have a productive life. Because his ankle, it's not supposed to bend that way. And I just hated that the network kept replaying it. I hate that people on social media kept, were posting him getting injured. I can't stand that. The injury is very gruesome, and, I just wish some of these social media platforms would take that into consideration. But it just sucks for Jordan Travis, man. Like I said, he's one of the main reasons why this program is back to being relevant again. And I think we can win the next two games. I think, last year Tate Rodemaker got in there against that Louisville team. It's not the same Louisville team, but he got in there and he led us to a victory. Florida's going to be without their starting quarterback. So, I think that kind of levels the playing field. I think it's going to be a closely contested game, a rivalry game at night in Gainesville, a sellout crowd. They're fighting for bowl eligibility. So I think, and they have a chance to keep us out of the playoff. So I think this is a humongous game. I think Mike Norvell can't put all of this on Tate Rodemaker. You can't say Tate win us the game. I think that you can't come out conservative either. I think you have to come out guns blazing. I don't think anybody in the college football universe is expecting that. The majority of people in college football is expecting you to come out ball control defense. If you just come out and say, hey, we're just going to sling this thing all over the yard with Tate, nobody's expecting that. So I just think you have to design the game plan so Tate Rodemaker can make plays. I don't think you can just you can't improv with Tate. You have to give him specific places to go with the football. He has a tremendous arm, and he can spin it. But I think we're going to beat these guys 24-17, 31-17. It's going to be a closely contested game. I think we beat Louisville in the same manner, 24-17, 31-17. Now, if we are fortunate enough to get to the playoff, that's where, you know, I don't think we can match up with any of those guys. Jordan Travis would have been the X factor. It's going to take a tremendous effort from our team to win a national championship or just to get to the national championship game. As far as the college football rankings, I think we're going to fall. Washington has played a harder schedule. They've played tougher opponents, and they deserve to be in the 4th spot. Let's just put it out there. But for me, I really don't care about the college football playoff rankings until after, the last game is played, the conference championship game. That's when I care. So there's a lot more football to be played. Washington still has to play Washington State, a rivalry game. Washington State is pretty good, so we don't know how that's going to go. They still have to play Oregon, so we don't know how that's going to go. So there's a lot more football to be played. Ohio State has to play Michigan. Georgia has to play the SEC championship against Alabama. So there's a lot of stuff to be decided here. So I'm not going to really get upset at all about the college football playoff rankings this week. Like I said, it sucks for Jordan Travis, man. I remember when he first got in against Boston College, and he took over. This fan base booed him off the field at one point in his career. He thought about switching to receiver at one point in his career. I just didn't want his career to end like that. So I hope he makes a full recovery, man. I hope he makes it to the league. I hope he gets to pursue all his dreams and aspirations. And it sucks. It just sucks for that guy. Arguably one of the best players to ever come through the program. Just as a human being, and second as a football player, and then you got the statistics. Just a tremendous talent. And it was an honor and a privilege to watch him play. Like I said, I hope he makes a full recovery and he gets to pursue his dream of being in the NFL. But everything is still on the table for us. This isn't the end. Certainly if we lose, we're probably out of the college football playoff. Okay? If we lose to Florida, if we lose to Louisville, we're probably out. But if we win out, we're definitely in there. And I think this is a great test for Tate Rodemaker because he's supposedly going to be the guy next season. So I'm just saying, if he gets us to a national, just a college football playoff, if he does that, I think he's pretty much cemented himself as the starter. Because like I said, he's got a tremendous arm. So it's going to be really interesting to see as he goes through practice this week as the number one guy. It's going to be very interesting to see how the game plan is tailored to Tate Rodemaker. Obviously, you're not going to be doing a lot of quarterback running stuff. I in some ways, I think this helps us become a better team because you have a pocket passer that has to make throws down the field. Jordan Travis's greatest asset was his improvisation skills. And I think that, and I've said it all season, I'm not just saying it now. You can go back and listen to some of the episodes that I've done this season where I've criticize Jordan Travis for some of the things that he does with the football. And, I'm not trying to pile on him now, but I think in some ways this helps us. I mean, just trying to turn the negative into a positive. I think if you have a less mobile quarterback and he's forced to throw the ball down the field, I think that helps us tremendously. I mean, obviously, everybody on offense is going to have to step up their effort times 10. The offensive line is going to have to block. I just think the way the team responded in this game, and you have to take it with a grain of salt because it's North Alabama, but just the way the team responded when Jordan Travis got hurt, it was a wake-up call. It's pretty much we have to rally around Tate Rodemaker. We have to rally around each other. We have to, we control our own destiny. And nobody wants to be the guy. No unit wants to be the unit that messes this thing up. So I just think, again, the offensive line, everybody really is going to have to step up their efforts. I don't think this is a situation where we can just go status quo and say, hey, we're just going to put it all on tape to get us where we want to be. I think that's one of the worst things that could happen to this football team. If you're not a Florida State fan and you saw that injury and, I'm not saying you have to feel sorry for Florida State. I'm not saying that you have to do anything, but if you're happy that Jordan Travis got injured yesterday, something's wrong with you. This is bigger than football. You know what I'm saying? You can hope that we lose. I don't care about that. But don't wish bad health. I don't wish bad health on anybody. Even people I don't like. Even people I don't get along with. Right? It's just you stay over there, I'll stay over here, and we don't have to coexist. We don't have to talk. We don't have to be friends. But, I'm not going to wish bad. It's just not in my nature. Right? But you just read some of the stuff on the internet, and these different message boards and blogs or whatever, YouTube, and you just see just some of the pure hate and venom that people have in this world, man. It's insane. But I think everything is on the table. I think we're going to win the next two games. I don't see, nothing scares me about Louisville. I just don't think, they haven't really played any elite teams. And I'm not saying that Florida State is elite, but I think we're very close. We're on the cusp. So I really feel like I said earlier, we have to rally around Tate Rodemaker. He's the face of the franchise right now. He's the face of the program. And we have to rally around this dude. And we have to turn this negative into a positive. Everybody's got to step up their effort times a million. The offensive line has to hit harder. They have to pass block better. The running backs have to get more yards. The wide receivers have to win their matchups quicker. The defense has to dominate. Everybody's got to step it up if we're trying to be special this season. The Florida Gators are going to test your manhood on defense. They like to run the football. They're going to be a smash mouth team. And with their starting quarterback being injured, that's what they're going to do. They have a nice young freshman wide receiver. He's going to present a lot of problems. They're a couple of players away from being very good. So this is a rivalry game. This isn't a game that we can take lightly. So we have to come out with tremendous energy, tremendous focus. And like I said, every player on this team has to step up their efforts. We have to play smart. We have to play within ourselves. But there can be no question in terms of effort. Jordan Travis's greatest asset was also his greatest liability. And on that play, he was fighting for yards. The play that he got injured on, he was fighting for yards. And the North Alabama player was trying to drag him down. If Jordan Travis just takes what he can get and falls to the ground, he probably doesn't get injured. And that's what I kept saying. I'm not blaming him. He's fighting for our team. So I'm not saying it's his fault he got injured. But it just goes back to what I've been saying all season. You have to make the smart play. The big play is not always going to be there. And I understand giving 100% effort on every single play, but you got to be smart. Okay? When a player is literally draped on your back, just go down. But he's been doing that all season. That's his greatest asset, and that's his greatest liability. And I just hate to be right, because I wanted this guy to go out on top. I wanted him to go out on top. I wanted him to ride off into the sunset knowing that he was one of the main guys that helped put Florida State back on top. That's what I wanted for him. But, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. And like I said earlier, I seen some stuff on the internet where people are saying, I've had my ankle twisted all the way around and I could walk in 24 hours. Well, walking and playing football is two different things. And there's no way on God's green earth that man's ankle was twisted like that and he's going to come out there in less than a week, in less than 7 days and play football. There's no way. So let's just stop that. Let's just stop. His career's over. Like I said, he was one of the main reasons why we're back to being relevant. And you got these Miami Hurricane fans, you got these Florida Gator fans saying our season is over. And it might be over. But as of right now, we still are playing for something. We're still playing for a potential college football playoff berth. We're still playing for a ACC championship. So our season still has meaning. Your season has no meaning. You're going to the Sun Bowl. You're going to the Tire Bowl. You're going to the Poinsettia Bowl, right? The Toilet Bowl, right? So keep the hate coming, man. Keep the hate coming. I love you guys. You know what I'm saying? We're the better Florida Gators, Miami Hurricanes. We're the better program right now. We're the best program in the state right now. All right. We're almost back to being Florida State of yesteryear. We're on the cusp of that. You guys are irrelevant. Miami Hurricanes, South Florida is a virtual pipeline to every SEC program. You can't keep the SEC out of your backyard. That's why you're irrelevant. Okay, Florida Gators, I don't know what to say about y'all. You know what I'm saying? Tremendous resources. But you can't find talent anymore. Out of Florida State and Miami, Florida has the most money and the most resources, but you guys can't you can't get talent to come down there no more. So, you guys can hate on us. That's fine. Like I said, I think we can win the next 2 games. I think it's going to be very hard for this team to go to the college. It depends on who we get. It really depends on who we get. If we're fortunate enough to win the next 2 games and Georgia loses to Alabama and we get Ohio State or Michigan, I think we could beat Ohio State or Michigan. But if we draw Georgia, it's going to be a tough battle. It's going to be a tough hill to climb. No matter who we play, it's going to be a tough hill to climb. And that was with Jordan Travis. Okay? But Tate Rodemaker, to me, is a better passer than Jordan Travis from this respect. When he scrambles, you know what I'm saying? He's looking downfield. Jordan Travis is trying to scramble and get yards. Now, sometimes Jordan Travis will continue to look downfield, but Jordan Travis is always looking for the big play. I feel like Tate Rodemaker is just trying to get the ball out of his hands. The thing with Tate Rodemaker is that you should not feel the pressure of trying to be a hero. Just be smart with the football. That's all you have to do, Tate Rodemaker. Be smart with the football. Don't force the ball. Don't do stupid stuff with the football. And I know we can win. We have elite receivers. We have elite running backs. We have a above average offensive line. We can win these next 2 games. When we get to the playoff, all bets are off. Hate is a very strong word, and I don't use that word a lot, but I absolutely hate the Florida Gators. Always have, always will. I've liked certain players from their program. Javon Curse, Percy Harvin, Kevin Carter, Hargraves. I think that's Emmitt Smith. I hate Danny Warfel. I hate Tim Tebow. I hate Aaron Hernandez. And that's not because of the crime stuff, just because he was a great player there. I really can't think of anybody else. Oh, Jaquez Green, Riddell Anthony, Ike Hilliard, Ben Troop. That's pretty much it. I really can't think of any other players that I've hated. I mean, Percy Harvin's probably my all-time favorite. I would watch Florida games just to see him play. He was an extraordinary talent. Javon Curse was an extraordinary talent. And I can put my hate of the Florida Gators to the side to watch an extraordinary talent. Devin Hester for the Hurricanes. I could put my hate to the side for him to watch him play. Warren Sapp, Ray Lewis, Clinton Portis, Sean Taylor, Ed Reed, Willis McGahee. I mean, Andre Johnson. I mean, I could put my bias to the side to watch those guys play. And I think when Florida played Oklahoma in the national championship, I hate Oklahoma and I hate the Florida Gators. I hate the Florida Gators a little bit more than Oklahoma, but I couldn't let myself root for Oklahoma. I watched the game and it was just like, how could I hope for something to end the game that wouldn't hurt anybody in the game? When Miami played Ohio State, I hate Ohio State. I don't really hate Miami. I just want to beat them every time we play them. I don't really hate Miami at all. But, the Florida game is, it's just something that, we have a chance to extend our winning streak to 3 games over Miami and Florida. It's just something that we have to do. We can't lose this game. We can't lose the ACC championship. Like I said earlier in the show, I think that the passing game will be better. I think it's very important for Mike Norvell to impress upon Tate Rodemaker, don't be a hero. If it's not there, throw it away. Everybody has to step up. The defense has to step up. Jared Verse, he's not had the season that he's had last season. He's going to have to step up. Patrick Payton's going to have to step up. It's time to become dominant. It's time to become a force. Just skating by on talent, that's not acceptable anymore. You have to, you know what I'm saying? If we're really trying to get back to being Florida State of yesteryear, this is the time. I look at this. It was very unfortunate what happened to Jordan Travis, but I look at this as a blessing. That's how I really look at this. I really do. I really look at this as a chance and an opportunity to propel this program to new heights. And, you've got the three-headed monster in the passing game, Coleman, Wilson, and the tight end, number 6. And his name just slipped my mind. I'm sorry. It's a real chance and opportunity to really showcase their ability to catch the football. And, you still got Trey Benson. You still got, Tuafili. You still have a pretty decent offensive line. So, I think the pieces are still there to be very, very good and to make a run. It's just, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? And, for the life of me, I just, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. To me, this Florida game is not going to be a conservative type game. I think Florida's going to come in and let it all hang out, which is what they're supposed to do. And Florida State, I think we're going to be forced into doing the same thing. And Jaheim Bell, I don't know how I forgot his name. I just spent the last 2 minutes trying to think of his name. So you got Bell, Coleman, and Wilson as a three-headed monster on offense. And Maurice Smith went out with an injury, but, Darius Washington, being as versatile as he is, stepped into center, and we didn't miss a beat. So the offensive line is going to have to step up in the passing game. I think that is I think that doesn't even have to be said. Everybody's going to have to step up. Everybody's effort is going to have to be times 10, man. Florida's going to come out, and I'm telling you, they're going to watch that North Alabama film, and they're going to run some trick plays. You should expect that in every game from here on out, that somebody's going to try to run some trick plays on you because you didn't respond well to those trick plays that North Alabama ran on you. And I just think it was bad coaching that you didn't expect that. When you're playing an FCS opponent, you should expect something out of the ordinary just because they're just trying to be relevant in the game. So, I'm predicting wins for the next 2 weeks. I think we're going to get in the playoff, and we'll just see what happens. So if you enjoyed this episode, please like it on YouTube, rate, review, subscribe. Podcast available on all podcast platforms. It's available on YouTube. As always, go Noles.